Okay, let's go ahead and clean up a couple odds and ends here. Let's get some intervals in just to finish them out so we can move on to seventh chords, and then spelling chords with key signatures is what we want to do next, and then diatonic chords, diatonic sevenths, and diatonic chord progressions. And then we'll do, harmonic rhythm and how chords move, secondary dominants, related twos, the modes, modal interchange chords, substitution chords, and then borrowed chords. And we'll kind of go from there and get into some arranging then, I guess. So in any event, just so you know the path here, I'm going to try to keep these a little bit shorter. It seems was a request I got just from the few people who watched them. So anyway, let's take a look at, we did major seconds, minor second, major thirds, minor thirds, half steps, whole steps. I think everyone got that. If you don't, leave a comment. We'll square it away for you. I'm going to do a couple other videos, kind of supplemental things to go into more detail, more examples. But for now, let's talk about the other intervals. Okay, so we have major thirds. We have a fourth. So a fourth is, oops, get my pen here. A fourth is, an interval that's named 4 notes away. Now, let's do this in F here. A perfect fourths are perfect. They call them perfect fourths. And a perfect fourth is 5 half steps away. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If we were in a key of F, it's always from the first note of the scale to the fourth note of the scale. So in F, remember, in a key of F, there's 1 flat. I'll just write it here beside it. But this is a perfect fourth. They usually indicate that by P4. The other perfect interval is a perfect fifth. And the other perfect interval is a perfect octave, which is F to F. Okay, so the reason it's perfect, they call it perfect, is because when you invert them, you put the lower note on top, it stays a perfect interval. By the way, the magic number for intervals is 9. Remember that. So here we have 5 half steps. If we invert a perfect fourth, we go from B flat up to F. And this is a perfect fifth. Notice this is, in case this is a perfect fifth here. So this was 5 half steps, right? This is 7 half steps. So we go from F, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, okay? So notice here when we put the B flat on the bottom, this is B flat to F, B flat to F, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So a perfect fourth, forgive me, when inverted, becomes a perfect fifth, and that's why they call them perfect intervals. So you can have perfect fourth and perfect fifth, a perfect octave. When you invert a perfect octave, you get a unison, obviously, which is a 1. Okay, so 8 minus 9 minus 8 is 1. So you get a perfect unison. When you invert it, you get another perfect octave. Now, remember when we lowered a major interval, like here we had, let's say, F to A, just a couple more odds and ends. When you lower a major interval, this is a major third, and then you lower it 1 half step, 1 fret, true, also too. You get a minor interval when you lower major intervals. When you lower them again, when you lower minor intervals, you get a diminished interval. Okay, so kind of let's just remember the terminology. When you lower a major interval, you get a minor interval, and that's valuable. When you lower a minor interval, you get a diminished interval. When you lower a perfect interval, it immediately becomes diminished. So if I put another flat here, well, I'll just do it over here so you can still look at that. Well, it wasn't my eraser, was it? It's my highlighter. Where's my eraser? Oh, okay. Sorry about that. When you lower, where was I? When I was talking about this C to F here, or F to B flat, I'm sorry, which is 5 half steps, a perfect fourth. If you lower that, it immediately becomes a diminished. So this would be with 2 flats. It's a double flat. That's how you double flat things. You can have double flats and double sharps. So if you lower a perfect interval, it becomes diminished. It doesn't become minor, it becomes diminished. If you raise a perfect interval, if I put a sharp here, there we go. Call this B sharp, which of course is C, the enharmonic equivalent, right? Remember that. So B sharp is C, but for naming convention, since it's called a fourth, this is called an augmented fourth. So when you raise a perfect interval, it becomes augmented. If I raise this here, it's called an augmented octave, effectively. If you have a unison, a perfect unison, and you raise the second one, it's called an augmented prime or augmented unison, whatever you want to call it. So there you go. That's with a perfect fourths and fifths. Okay, so the key for these fourths and fifths is 5 half steps is a perfect fourth, 7 half steps is a perfect fifth. If you lower a perfect interval, it becomes diminished. If you raise a perfect interval, it becomes augmented. Okay, so now we want to go ahead. We have fourths and fifths, and we have sixths. Now sixths and sevenths are not perfect intervals, but if we go from F to D, which is a sixth, that's called a major sixth. Okay. And of course, a major sixth, if we count it up from F, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So this is 9 half steps. Now, if you lower a major interval, remember, and it's consistent, if you lower a major interval, it becomes a minor sixth. And if you lower a minor sixth, again, it becomes a diminished sixth. So a D double flat. So a major sixth, again, is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 half steps. A minor sixth is 8 half steps, named 6 notes away, and a diminished is 7. Now again, D double flat, D flatted twice is C, but for naming convention, we do it like that. The only other one we have then is our seventh, and this one can be pretty important. If we go F to E, is a major seventh, which is 11 half steps. It's important, I just want to mention 11 half steps. Don't get this confused with a major seventh chord, but there is a little bit of confusion that can happen with major seventh and seventh chords and stuff, but we'll get into that. If you lower a major seventh interval now, we're talking interval, this is a minor seventh interval, and then of course if you lower it twice, it becomes a diminished seventh interval. Okay? If you invert a major seventh, and I didn't do it actually with the sixth, I don't think. But everything stays consistent. If you invert major intervals, I think we started with F. I'll invert that. F to D. If you invert major intervals and put the D on top, this was a major sixth. This is a minor third. Remember, the key note is 9. If you invert a minor interval, it becomes a major. In other words, here, if we have F to D flat, right? This was a minor sixth. If you put the F up here, then we have 4 half steps, which is a major third. Okay, and the other one we did was a major seventh. And if you invert that, a major seventh becomes a minor second. E to F is a half step. You can actually do it with a unison. If you invert that, it becomes a prime. 1. 8 minus 9 minus 8 is 1. It becomes a prime. Okay. Or unison. I guess not many people call them primes. So that's the quick lesson on getting the rest of the intervals together. The most important thing is just remember, you lower a major, it becomes a minor. You lower a minor interval, it becomes diminished. Perfect intervals, when inverted, stay perfect. And that's pretty much about it with intervals. So those are all our intervals. Oh, but I guess I should mention, you can have ninths, like F to G would be a major ninth. And then a tenth would be F to A, and that's an interesting voicing on guitar that's used quite a bit. So the tenths, you'll hear people call tenths. It's the same as a third, only it takes the top note and puts it up. When we get into voicings like drop two and four voicings, dominant approach chords for arranging and stuff, those things will become important. So let's leave this one a real short one here. Intervals. You have any questions about intervals, raise them below. All right, thanks a lot. This is Keith. Next up, we're going to do seventh chords.